If you think longer term and you think top down, then your chance of starting a successful company increases materially. Investment trends last longer than we think. And so when you find a great investment trend, latch on to it and hold on to it for dear life for years and years and years. And I'll give you some examples. So the internet secular growth trend, investment trend, has been on now for several decades, and it has a lot more legs as well. And so if you think from a top-down perspective, you'll be a much better investor in the long run. And another thing to do when you look top-down is think of the size of the total addressable market, the TAM. Because you should only invest in companies that are in a massive market so that they can capture part of that market and still do extraordinarily well. And I'll give you an example. So when I used to teach in universities during the evenings in business classes, I would bring in guest speakers. And I brought in a partner from Kleiner Perkins, which is a fantastic venture capital firm. And they never invest in any company that doesn't have a total addressable market of at least $20 billion. And the reason is that if that company is successful, and most venture investments go to zero, but if that investment is successful and gets 5% of a $20 billion market, then that's $1 billion in revenue annually for that company. And a lot of venture capital firms look for what's called a 5x5, which means a 500% return within 5 years. And so I always want you to think top down as well as bottoms up when you're looking at the management team, but think of sector trends from a high level perspective. And the best time to buy into these sectors is when everybody else is panicking, when there's blood in the streets. Sorry to use that term, but it's true. And Buffett always says you want to be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. And if you think longer term and you see the forest from the trees, then you won't be a tourist. You won't rent stocks. I am a tourist today, by the way. You'll be an owner, a long-term owner of these stocks. And you'll be able to stomach the volatility instead of selling like everybody else does when stocks go down. So always think top down. Think of the size of the total addressable market. Think long-term as well, so that you can be a stockholder, meaning an investor for many, many, many years. And you can have the guts to back up the truck and buy a big position when everybody else is panicking. So top down is a great way to think about investments longer term, and investment trends last longer than we think. If this was helpful, please click the like button and subscribe, and I will see you mañana. Thank you.